Hello everyone and welcome to StudyIQ English. I am Joycey Joy. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, a current affair but also a very important concept, that is the central bank digital currency, which is also known as CBDC. Let's see what was in the news, what was in the budget very recently regarding the CBDC. We will also see what is it in detail, the advantages and what are the challenges it poses for a country like India, and what steps should the government and the RBI take in this regard. Let's get started with central bank digital currency. Let's first understand what is the story so far with relation to the central bank's digital currency. To begin with, in the year 2021, in the month of July, the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, which is the monetary authority of the country, which is a central bank of the country, made an announcement that RBI is working in the direction of creating and establishing a digital currency, that is central bank digital currency. So RBI said that RBI will soon begin the work for phased implementation of a central bank digital currency. The background of it was that in the month of October 2020, Bahamas had launched the first CD of the world, central bank digital currency. Okay, so that is the background and RBI made such an announcement. Now, very recently, last week in the Union Budget, the Finance Minister herself announced that India is introducing central bank digital currency, and this will give a big boost to India's digital economy. Since 2016, after demonetization, the government of India, from that time is focusing more on creating digital economy, that is giving a push towards digitization. If you remember, in those years, that is 2015, 16, 17, the economic survey and the budget had given a big boost to or big focus on digitization of economy, also less cash economy. What was less cash economy, or what was the idea behind it? A less cash economy is where an economy would transact the maximum through digital ways and means. That is, digital transactions would outnumber the number of physical or normal currency transactions. So, less cash economy and digitization of economy were two major agendas of government as well as the RBI. Even during the COVID time, the governor of RBI himself made a press conference statement that the people in the country, the citizens, should use digital transactions or digital modes of transactions as compared to the normal transactions. So from last few years, we were getting a hint that the government and the central bank is moving towards digitization of the economy and creating a less cash economy. Now, we can see this also, the central bank digital currency also as a big move towards this. Now, let's understand what is central bank digital currency in detail. So, this is actually a digital form of the fiat currency of a country. What is a fiat currency? Fiat currency is a currency which is backed by the government, by the sovereign authority of the country. The currency that you use, the 10 rupee notes, 100 rupee notes, 500 rupee notes, 200 rupee notes, all these you use is backed by the government. You can see the signature of the RBI governor on it. It is backed by a sovereign authority. It's a fiat currency. So the digital form of such a fiat currency, the currency that you use, it has a physical existence. It is a paper currency. It's a token money. So the same digital form of it would be central bank digital currency. And this currency, the digital currency, can be used in your transactions using wallets that are backed up by blockchain technology, and this will be supervised by RBI. This means that this currency, the digital currency, would be very properly supervised by the monetary authority of the country, and it will be backed by the blockchain technology. Now, the CBDC will not be any way different from that of the cash or the currency that we use now. The only difference is that it exists in a digital form. In no other way it is different from that of the cash or the currency that we use at present. Now, how is it different from a decentralized virtual currency or cryptocurrency or crypto assets? Because these cryptocurrencies or crypto assets or decentralized virtual currencies, all these are not backed by a sovereign authority, or they are not having a legal tender status. Whereas the digital currency that the central bank RBI is going to issue, it will be having a legal tender status. Legal tender status means that it is backed up by a sovereign authority, and by the way of legal tender we mean that it cannot be rejected by any of the person in a transaction. It has to be accepted during a transaction. You cannot reject it. So that is a legal tender status. People can opt to convert their bank deposits into new digital rupee. That is another feature of it, that if you have a bank deposit, so you can convert it into a digital rupee. Another important point here to be noted is that even though digital currency would be introduced, the physical cash, it will still exist. Why? Because a country like India, which is very large, the population is very high. Again, majority of the population are digitally illiterate. In such a country, on one fine day, you cannot simply convert the physical cash into a digital one without creating a digital infrastructure, without giving awareness, without providing digital literacy. It's not possible. So still, even though we are introducing a digital currency, the physical form of cash, that is the currency, will still continue to exist. Now, why there is a need for central bank digital currency? There is an increasing demand and usage of digital currencies all over the world, like the Bitcoin, etc. So this has put a challenge for the fiat money. That is one reason. Second one, there is higher preference for digital payments because India's flagship program, Digital India Mission, it is promoting digital transactions. So there is a high push for or high preference for digital payments across the country. In the last few years, if you have noticed how the economy has converted itself into more digital and less cash, you will notice that now even you, when you make transactions, when you make payments, you use digital payments or digital modes of payments like the Google Pay, Phone Pay, BHIM app, UPI, all these things. So why? Because the economy is getting more and more digitized. We are transforming slowly into a less cash economy. So there is a high preference for digital payments across the country. Third, it will address the issue of cryptocurrencies by private entities. What is the problem with cryptocurrencies by the private entities? They do not have a legal backing and therefore there is no assurance or surety. But this currency will be issued by RBI, which is a monetary authority of the country. So there will be a proper backing by a sovereign authority itself. Again, these are reliable, sovereign-backed alternatives to private currencies which are volatile and unregulated. The private currencies are volatile. Its value changes very frequently and also they are unregulated. They are not regulated by any sovereign authority. Whereas the central bank digital currencies would be regulated by the RBI and it would be government-backed. And this will also ensure national and financial security for the country from the ongoing digital currency proxy war between China and USA. So for financial security and national security also this was a necessity. Again, this will again reduce the dependency of dollar and also improve the value or the dominance of Indian rupee in the international market. Coming to the advantages and the limitations of digital currency. First one, it's more efficient, trusted, regulated and a robust payment system because it's backed by the sovereign authority and the RBI monitors it. So definitely it is more efficient because it is digital. It's more trustworthy because it is backed by a sovereign authority. It will reduce the dependency on cash. It will reduce the number of cash transactions and turn the economy into a digital mode or digitized economy. The interbank settlements would disappear as it would be RBI's liability that is transferred. So interbank settlements would disappear. The cost of issuing and management of digital currencies is comparatively lower as compared to the normal physical currencies. For the printing of currency there is a cost, then management, administration, for all these the cost is much higher as compared to maintaining a digital currency ecosystem in the country. Then it's very easy to track because it provides more transparency and this will also help in checking money laundering and generation of black money. It will better help in inflation targeting because it's easy for the RBI to control or regulate digital currency as compared to the normal currency. So, inflation targeting is all about reducing or keeping inflation within a broad width. So, the target is 4 plus or minus 2 in India. Now, for that, what the RBI does is to regulate the money supply. And regulating money supply happens through monetary policy by controlling the cash supply or the money supply in the economy. So, it would be better or easy for RBI to control digital currency or regulate the flow of digital currency as compared to the physical currency. Now, coming to the challenges, because this is a new idea for India and also we are introducing it for the very first time, there are lot number of challenges that appear. First one is that suddenly moving from capital from the bank accounts to digital currency, it can affect the monetary policy transmission. What is monetary policy transmission? Monetary policy transmission means transmitting or transferring the benefits or the provisions of the monetary policy from RBI to the bank and then to the public. That is monetary policy transmission. Liabilities from the books of banks get transferred to RBI's balance sheet. Then there are issues relating to technology and support infrastructure and architecture. There is a threat of cyber attack and digital theft. These are all technology related issues. Then there are concerns regarding privacy because it's very easy to track transactions. So it may affect the privacy of an individual. Then another major issue the country like India would face would be poor digital literacy. The country is having very less rates of digital literacy and that is one reason financial inclusion is not very successful even now. According to Nachiket More Committee, many accounts that are operational in India or which are opened by the citizens of the country, more than 60% of them are not operational. This is because of lack of awareness and lack of financial literacy, especially in the rural areas. So, in a country like India, where the rates of digital literacy are very low, it would be difficult for a sudden transmission from the present system towards the new system of digital currency. And this can also cause an economic inequality. How? Those who are more aware about the financial parts of it or financially literate people and financially illiterate people, the gap between them would widen because the benefits of a digital currency would go more into financially literate people, whereas there is a chance of sidelining the financially illiterate. This can cause a economic inequality. And legislative measures like amendments to FEMA and IT Acts would all be needed in order to take precautions to avoid the challenges, to penalize the offences under this misuse of this digital currency or any kind of fraudulent activity or cyber attack or digital theft etc. For that the cyber laws should be more proactive and also IT Act amendments should be made. Then what are the suggestions or what should be done in order to overcome the challenges? Firstly, there should be a clear-cut clarity regarding underlying technology, design of the currency, degree of anonymity, etc. Measures such as cap on the limit on digital currency can be introduced in order to check a huge exit of capital from the banks. Then cyber security systems can be made very effective in order to ensure a financial security. So cyber security and financial security should be made very strict. And taking opinion and consideration from different stakeholders is also very important in order to understand the concerns of different stakeholders. Now, considering all the challenges, if properly implemented without any loopholes or with proper policy measures and legislative measures, definitely the digital currency ecosystem is going to be very successful and give a big boost to India's digitization targets. So that is it regarding the central bank digital currency. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was a useful video for you. I'll see you again. Thank you. All the best.